to go. Fat guy's gonna clean some fish. Caught 18 of them day before yesterday. They've been on ice. First thing I'm gonna do is sharpen my knives. I'm gonna sharpen these knives a little bit. I usually have more knives on the table than I need. I try to always sharpen away from myself, even though it does have the guard. It's a little dangerous to do it this way, so I always go that way. Got a little bowl of water here. I don't know if you can see it. That's where the fillets will go. I pretty much fillet northern style. My father taught me how to fillet. He was from Baltimore, Maryland. Let you see what I'm doing. And when I take them off just like that, go in right at the top of that fin. I try to slide it along. Right when you get to the bottom, I put the knife all the way through, and then I tilt the knife down to follow the bone, and there's the tail. Then I bring my knife back and I go up, and this is a dangerous move. If you slip, you can cut yourself. I go all the way up till I hit his forehead bone, and then I make this cut. Then I just lift it up and follow the rib cage. Now, a lot of Florida boys don't do it this way. A lot of Florida people, they cut it off right there. They don't even bother with that piece. There's a little bit of bone right here. So I'll throw that in a bucket. We'll use it in the garden. And then, hopefully you can see this. Just shuck that meat right off of that skin. Throw it over in your lightly salted water. And that's how the fat guy fillets a fish. Caught these fish in a local lake on bought minnows. Bought the minnows. I usually don't keep small ones unless I think I hooked them a little deep. So if you don't know how to fillet, these lake fish, you got to keep an eye out. This one has a little sore on it, so I just cut around the sore. I don't want no sore on it. They bump each other and fight each other, and there's some fish in there, like gar and big catfish, that'll try to eat these fish. So every now and then, they'll have a little battle wound on them. And this one does. Got a little roe in there. She was trying to have babies. This is a very dangerous move, what I'm doing right now. And you see my finger that close to that knife? If you slip, you're going to get cut. You got to be really careful and keep your knife always should be slanted or tilted away from you, ever so slightly. I learned that working in the kitchen. More fertilizer. I will give my dog a head or two. He likes fish. Cats don't really eat them, but my dog sure will. Okay. Getting the hang of it yet? There, you see that knife go over towards my finger? When I clear the rib cage, I was actually feeling with the front of the knife, the point of the knife, and I can feel the rib cage. And as soon as I clear it, you see what I'm doing? It's very dangerous. You have to tilt the knife this way. So if you do slip, it slips down onto the table, not up into you. Okay? I don't want anybody hurting themselves after they watch my video. So why am I doing this? Why am I recording filleting fish? Well, my dad taught me how to fillet fish. He died a long time ago, 36 years ago. And I don't get to see my grandkids that much. And a couple of my sons, I never really got the chance to teach how to fillet properly. And then of course, anybody can watch the video and learn. But I'll hope that one day my grandkids or their kids learn how to fillet from this video. That's how we do it, folks. Once I throw it in that salt water over there, the salt will pull any fishy taste out of it, and usually a little bit of red that's in it will disappear. The water will get red and the fish will turn nice and white. It won't make the fish salty or anything. It takes a while. It takes me a little while to do each fish, not too bad. Once I get cranking real good, I can probably do a fish a minute, just about. A little bit more, probably. Maybe every 2 minutes. You get in a hurry, you'll cut yourself. And then you get in a hurry and you waste meat. If you don't cut it right, you're going to leave a bunch of good food on that fish. And going around these ribs is a northern thing. Some people just start right here and do it. And they just go right up the fish from the tail up. Those people usually just cut the ribs. The rib will be in the fillet and then they cut the rib out of the fillet. That's not the way I do it. I do it like this. That's plenty fast. And if I do it right, I get all the meat. Hurt my back a little bit. I don't need that, man. Just getting over some lower back issues here. Little messy job, but it's well worth it. These are some of the best eating fish in the world. Speckled perch. Some people call them crappie. Look at that. See my thumb? Boy, you better be careful if you do it like that. Speckled perch. We call them specks down south. And they call them crappie up north. I don't know why they call them crappie, but they do. My back's hurting. I'm going to have to try to keep moving here and Playing a lot of soccer and I don't need my back to hurt. So yeah, it's a chore to fillet the fish. Definitely not my favorite part of fishing. But let me tell you, I do not believe in catch and release. I'm sorry. I watch these shows, and these guys are out there, quote unquote, sports fishing, and they're sticking these lures with several treble hooks in these fish's mouth. And then they wrestle the fish up to the boat and wear them out real good, and then grab them and put their hands all over them and wipe the oils that are on them off. Especially a trout. Trout die after you handle them. And anyhow, I've caught many fish with a bunch of scars in their mouths from these sports fishermen that they think they're so cool because they let their fish go. Well, God gave us these fish to eat, and they do have souls, and I don't think sports fishing is very cool. I think we should eat what we catch. If it's too little, throw it back. I threw 5 or 6 small ones back. I caught these. But why torture the fish? I don't know. That guy's weird sometimes, huh? Yeah, if you're going to catch it, eat it, man. There's hungry people out there, and then you're going to put it back. I see them doing it to these big sailfish on TV. They're catching these big sailfish, beautiful fish. And then they bring it up and take pictures of themselves with it and measure it and do all this stuff, and then they put it back. They don't know if some shark ate that thing 10 minutes later. It's going to take that fish a day or two to recuperate from the trauma it had to go through to get in that boat and back in the water. But they'll do anything for the camera. Anyhow, have a bunch of sports fishermen mad at me after this. Let them be. Because I don't believe in it. Never will. Had some kid yell across the lake at me one time. I'd caught a couple bass. He yelled across the lake. He was about 11 years old. He says, "I hope you're catching and releasing." I didn't say nothing to him. But that's what lit my fire, because I had 2 or 3 bass at that time that I was keeping because we were going to eat them. But they had holes all in their mouth. I mean, their mouth was ripped up. And these guys were in there catching them over and over again, I guess. I don't know what they were doing. Poor fish. How's he going to eat with his mouth all ripped up? Whatever. So I was basically caught all these free lining, what I call free lining, except it did have a little weight on it. And most of them were right under the boat in the middle of this little 5-acre lake. Might have been a little bigger than 5 acres, not much. Over in Longwood. I've lived here all my life. Now, I never knew that lake was back there for sure. Very well covered with stuff. So that's about the smallest one I kept. I probably gut hooked him. I don't keep them that small unless the hook was a little deep in their mouth, maybe. If I think it wasn't going to live. Because you'll see it's going to make a nice little fillet anyhow. See? Nice little piece of meat. Get it over there soaking. So when I'm done here, I'll take the fish that's soaking there in the water, I'll take it inside and wash it all off. Put it in some more water with less salt that's in it right now. Just a little bit of salt. We'll clean them off and put them in clean water with a little more salt. Stick them in the fridge. And tonight, we gonna have a fish fry. So yeah, I'm starting to get warm here. I set this thing up in the sun. We're having fun now though, aren't we? That's the dangerous move right there. One slip, one time, and you have cut yourself on that move. And I have cut myself on that move. Fertilizer. Let's do it. Maybe I should sharpen my knife a little because I'm working a little harder. Sharpen's easier once you get a little fish oil on your knife. I'm starting to sweat. Gets too slimy, I walk over and get a little bit of water and pour it on it. Clean off my spot for a second. There we go. You get a ton of slime in there, it gets harder to work. Now you can't see it, but I'm twisting the knife this way when I do that, just in case that thing slips. Because man, let me tell you, you slice your finger, your hand right there, you're going to end up in the emergency room. That guy's out here sweating. Sweating, I'll tell you. Got a nice little tree over there. I should have set it up on it. The table is already here. I got a hose close by, right over there. Hopefully you guys can see better. Except for my shadow in the way all the time, huh? Fat God fishing now. Filleting fish anyhow. I didn't get no video of the fishing trip. Too busy pulling them up, working 4 poles. I kept all 4 of them poles in the water too once we started getting the speck. We spent the first hour or so hunting bass. It never happened. Here's another little one. He's got some meat on him though. I might have kept him just for that reason. I feel a big old chunk of meat on him, I'll keep him. Unless I'm in Monroe. There are size limits in certain lakes. I was not in one of them though. Yeah, I probably gut hooked him because that hook's down real deep in his throat. I gotta stick my finger way down in him to get it out. If I throw him back in there, something else is gonna eat him after he suffers that trauma. That's how I feel about those big sailfish. I think they throw them back and they go down there and have to run and hide from everything for a couple days while they recuperate. That's not cool. Become vulnerable. Getting a nice tub of fish. And worked up a sweat here. Yeah, that's a long video. You can turn it off anytime you want. Isn't that the cool part? Might miss a story though. Might not. Well, we were going to cook a pork roast for tonight's dinner, but instead we're eating fish. Had salmon the other night. Tammy made was really good. You see, this is very dangerous. I'm always fighting that knife right there to make sure it don't slip on me. Sometimes I get away with just ripping that last piece off. Six to go. I'm ready for it to be over. This is not my favorite part of fishing, folks. I love catching. I do not like slaving over this knife. Gonna be a nice fillet on that one. Let me get the other side. See the way I was grabbing that? I've been doing this a long time. And I hope that if you're trying it for your first time that you're real careful, because I said it before in this video, one slip and you're going to have a big gash when you're using a sharp knife. I worked in the kitchen with sharp knives when I was in my 20s. And it's all about the way you tilt the knife, which way you tilt the knife. Just a little tilt away from yourself. And you see how I keep my fingers like this instead of like that? Makes a big difference. Ooh-wee, 5 to go. I think I saved the 3 biggest ones for last. See that knife slip? Dangerous. Yeah, I'm tilting that way when I do that. Once again, as soon as I feel the rib, I'm feeling for the rib with the point of that knife. And when I clear it, I go to that other tail. A little smaller than I like to keep again. But, as you'll see, I'm sweating like crazy. It's a nice little chunk of meat. Probably the one I pick out. Alright, I'm going to clean it off again. We're going to finish up these last 4 fish. I'm over it. Are you? Here we go. Sharpen up a little. Soon as I feel the ribs no more, I know that I can shove my knife through. Then I'm feeling for this bone as I shove it through. I'm feeling for this bone right here. And then just go around the rib cage. I can rip it from there. Stab it about right in the middle, work it down. I'm feeling there's rib, no more rib. And when I don't feel the rib anymore, I just go through. Keep my knife like that. Come up here, cut the shoulder piece. I usually do that first. And then, that's where most of the meat is. You see how close I got to that bone? I'm just going to fillet and then we'll skin them all out. Getting hot, man. I am out here in sweats though, so it's probably 75 degrees already. The sun's shining right on me. Fat guy sweats, I'll tell you that. If you're gonna be the fat guy, you better be ready to do some sweating. When I play, I sweat, man. Look, I ain't even playing, I'm sweating. Bam. 2 more, dos más. Watch. I'm feeling for that rib. Rib went away, bam. Tilt my knife down on that bone all the way out. Come back in, tilt my knife this way, all the way up. This is very dangerous right here. Especially when your hand's right there like that. Then I cut that, lift it up, and follow the bone over the rib cage. Trust me, that is not the way most Florida boys do it. I've sat there and filleted with a bunch of them. And I've only met about 2 guys that can outwork me on specs, especially. And they were professional. They actually worked at a market filleting fish for a while. My neighbor can outdo me too, but he don't do it the way I do it. One more, uno más. Look at that one. That was the lunker of the day. Sometimes you just want to take your time and make sure you get all the meat. No more rib. Punch it through. Lay it out. Come back up. Make sure your knife is tilted when you do that. Now, why have I said it so many times? That's what my dad would do too. He told me 1,000 times not to cut myself. Trust me, I have though. When your knife starts getting a little dull, you're going to work harder. You see all that meat I missed? That's from a dull knife right there. Dad, burn it. I hate it when you miss me like that. Man, I can cut it off, but you know, it wasn't that much that I missed, but it's a good bite. It's going in there. Alright. We'll use this one for the end, for Natalie. Never mind. Final run. That burn flies are trying to get in my good fish. I don't like that. I'm gonna have a bunch of happy plants around here. I got papaya trees and blackberries. I sure love a good taste of this fish. And they're all gonna get some. Back's hurting. That ain't good. I gotta play tonight. So this was the fat guy, filleting fish. I'm gonna turn the camera off, grab that bowl of fish, get it inside, come back out, clean up the mess. You see me cut that red piece off? I don't know why it's like that, so I don't want it. Come back out here, clean up, and get the fish ready for the compost. That burn it. I lost one. Luckily it's fish and it will clean right up. I'll show you how we do that. Hello. Here's the piece that I just dropped on the ground. Ew. I'll carry it in my hand inside and wash it good. I'm not going to put it with the rest of it. Alright. Hope you enjoyed your how-to fillet.